so much for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Kubel. Getting straight to our top story tonight, a massive fire breaking out at the Old Standard Knitting Mill in North Knoxville. Crews responding to the fire along Washington Avenue around 6 this evening, arriving on the scene to find this, flames coming from the historic building. This was the second fire at the Standard Knitting Mill today, the first breaking out earlier in the day. Crews say that first fire did not involve the building itself, only some materials inside. Officials say tonight's fire was not connected to the smaller, earlier blaze.
We walked through the building when we were over here earlier.
The cause of tonight's fire is still under investigation. However, officials say the first fire in the building today was the result of a so-called warming fire, where people sheltering in the vacant building built a fire in an attempt to stay warm. 3 people were detained and questioned by officials following that fire. Knoxville Mayor India Kincannon on the scene during tonight's fire, saying trespassers have been frequently in the vacant building over the last few years.
There's a lot of history here, the Standard Knitting Mill.
And officials say the building sustained heavy damage in tonight's fire. Take another look at this video right here on your screen. The devastation of such a historic building hitting many in Knoxville hard. The structure was built around 1945 and has been a part of the Knoxville cityscape for decades. We spoke to one woman on the scene tonight who says her grandmother once worked at that mill.
She wanted pictures.
And at last check, crews were still on the scene, telling us they would likely be there for hours tonight. Firefighters say they will work to stabilize the structure so they can survey the full extent of the damage and investigate the cause of this fire. New at 11, a pursuit involving the Tennessee Highway Patrol has resulted in a fatal crash in Anderson County. The DA says troopers were pursuing 2 suspects in a vehicle through an unincorporated part of the county. The chase coming to an end when the vehicle crashed along Highway 441. The driver of the vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. The passenger was transported to a nearby hospital. A THP trooper was also injured in this crash. He was transported to the hospital but has since been released. Knoxville police are investigating after a fatal shooting on Atlantic Avenue. Officers arriving on the scene around 1:30 this afternoon, finding one person suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. No suspects are in custody at this time. KPD tells us the Violent Crimes Unit is leading their investigation. The Knoxville Utility Board spent the afternoon working on 2 water main breaks on Cumberland Avenue. The breaks were reported around Circle Drive and Philip Fulmer Way around 3. Officials tell us it was likely caused by the temperatures fluctuating from cold to warm and back again. KUB saying it could take up to 12 hours to repair these breaks. University of Tennessee students living in nearby dorms say this left them without water for much of their afternoon.
My sink, my shower.
And KUB saying people affected by the break should now have their water back on. Anyone still experiencing a lack of water or low pressure should contact KUB. A stretch of Cumberland Avenue from 16th Street to 11th Street will be closed while KUB works on this break. They have set up a detour. Let's talk about our forecast now with meteorologist Victoria Cavalieri. Victoria, that sunshine was so welcome today. What about our Monday?
And I think it's going to continue tomorrow, Elizabeth.
Looking forward to that, Victoria. Thank you. And we do have some school closures and delays to tell you about tonight. Bell County, Kentucky and Cumberland County schools will be on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. Meanwhile, Cott County and Scott County schools will be closed. We have a full list of closures available on our website. Just check out WATE.com. And we also want to let you know about this. Union County High School will be going virtual for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week. School officials say this is due to illness and the inability to adequately staff the school. A house fire broke out at a home in East Knoxville around 6:30 this morning. Firefighters say when they arrived on the scene on Lay Avenue, they found heavy smoke coming from the back of the house. Crews say 3 people had safely made it out by the time they got there. No injuries are being reported tonight, and fire officials say the home was severely damaged. The Red Cross is now helping those who live there. The cause of this fire is under investigation. And another house fire breaking out this morning on Bivens Way, that's in East Knox County. Officials say the fire started around 7 a.m. When crews got there, they found a shed fully engulfed in flames. No injuries were reported, and this fire is now also under investigation. The Knoxville community is rallying behind one 7-year-old who has had to fight childhood cancer not once, but twice in his young life. 6 on Your Side reporter Kristen Gallant shows us how Noah Solano isn't fighting this battle alone. Kristen, thank you so much. And there are going to be 2 additional blood drives this week in Powell. If you give Noah's name, his family will receive the credits. We'll have that information posted with this story on WATE.com. Food Network's Kids Baking Championship is halfway through its 10th season, and 2 contestants still in the running are from right here in Knoxville. Sarah Patel and Nadia Albers are both Knoxville natives who are vying for the crown on the Food Network reality show. The young chefs have been putting their skills to the test and have thrown together some impressive pastries over the first few weeks of this competition. For Sarah and Nadia, both longtime fans of the show, the chance to compete on the program has been a dream come true.
Since season 1.
And outside of the show, Sarah has been baking for first responders and healthcare workers to thank them for their work. And Nadia runs her own business. It's called Sprinkle It. You can catch Sarah and Nadia in a new episode of Kids Baking Championship tomorrow night on Food Network at 8 o'clock. Oak Ridge native T. Higgins is Super Bowl bound. Higgins and the Cincinnati Bengals getting a massive come-from-behind win against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game this afternoon. We spoke with the star wide receiver's mom ahead of today's game, and she told us no matter how many big games she has watched her son play in, nothing could compare to the Super Bowl.
Watching all the Super Bowls, you know, growing up, watching all the Super Bowls, and then my son, my child, has a chance to go do something that I've always watched on TV and cheered for.
That has got to be such an amazing feeling, and we will have more on Higgins and the Bengals coming up a little bit later on in sports. And still to come here on WATE 6 on Your Side News at 11. The Ice Bears are on top of the SPHL standings. We'll let you know what head coach Jeff Carr is saying about his team's impressive run when we take you inside the Bears Den.